Join my army of the dead.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another build guide video for the Necromancer. In this video, we're going to be going over my Corpse Explosion Summon Necromancer build. So let's get into it. Alright, starting off with the abilities, we go Decompose. These three, just a prerequisite to get to this node here. We do not use any core abilities. So we use Hughes Flesh to get to our next nodes, where we used Corpse Explosion. Plague Corpse Explosion deals 8% damage to stunned, slowed, or vulnerable enemies. We do all that. Blood Mist for the survivability, plus it fortifies us. We use a lot of fortified in this build. Skeletal Warrior Mastery is a must. Grim Harvest and Fueled by Death. As you can see, I have plus 1 point in the Fueled by Death from my from my items. Coming down to amplified damage, we max that out. Plus we have 3 from the items. We get 18% increased damage to cursed enemies. Great for our build. Then we go to Decrepify here. I like it because we have the damage reduction, slow, and then as well as cooldown reduction for our abilities. We max out Skeletal Mage Mastery and Death's Embrace. I like Death's Embrace over Death's Reach because you're getting damage reduction, where you're only getting damage. Coming down, we get Corpse Tendrils, and then we get the Corpse Tendrils that make enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds. Then we come down to Necrotic Car Space. When a corpse is formed by your skills or minions, fortify for 6% of your base life. That will constantly get us fortification, so keeping us tanky, especially when we're doing the higher nightmare dungeons. All the dungeons you'll see on screen are level 100 monsters and above. Coming down to Golem Mastery now, max that out, max out all of our summon nodes here: Bond Essence, Death's Defense, Inspiring Leader, and Hellbent Commander. Really good for your summons. I'm not using any key passives. I think they're all garbage for the summoner, especially for this build. This is garbage. We don't use any darkness damage other than our Reapers, but it's not enough to warrant this key passive. Alright, going to the Book of the Dead now. Our Skeletal Warriors, we're using the Reaper Warriors. They have 15% chance to carve flesh off enemies, forming a corpse. That gives you fortification, strength, and allows us to use Corpse Explosion a lot more. Coming to our Skeletal Mages, we use the enemies who are frozen by or damaged while frozen by your Cold Mage's primary attacks are made vulnerable for 4 seconds. We're constantly freezing enemies and putting vulnerable on enemies. Going to our Golems now. I use the Bone Golem. Each time your Golem takes damage up to 20% of its max life as damage, it sheds a corpse. This is really good. You send him in first. He immediately starts to fortify you and dropping corpses. Now going on to our items now. We'll start off with our helmet. I have the imprint of the Cold Mages cast Blizzard, and they continuously chill enemies for 6 seconds. I had a higher roll. Unfortunately, I found the better helmet, so I'm stuck using the lower roll, but this is crucial for our build. Max Skeletal Warriors. As you see, your chest piece has cold damage, fortification, generation, summoning skill damage, and just flat damage. Really nice damage piece for our gear. Coming to our gloves now, we use Howl from Below. We use partially Corpse Explosion with this build. So this sends out a volatile skeleton that charges a random enemy and explodes for 37% damage. Our pants, I like using these for protections. Damage an elite grants you a barrier for 5,972 damage. This happens for 10 seconds and this only can happen every 30 seconds. This very nice armor piece here. We have max minium life to help keep our summons alive. 4 ranks to Corpse Explosion, total armor, and damage reduction while injured. Really good piece to keep us alive. Going down to our boots now, we use Pennant Greaves. Using this for the passive, you leave behind a trail of frost that chills enemies, but more importantly, you deal 9% more damage to chilled enemies. And as you can see, we're using frost mages, so every time they hit, they're chilling. When they drop their blizzards, they're chilling. When you walk by them, we're chilling. And then they just take a flat 9% damage increase. These are better for doing more damage, but if you're having trouble surviving, knock these off and put on more of a survivable boot for you. Going down to our weapon now, we're using the Black River. Corpse Explosion consumes up to 4 additional corpses around the initial corpse, dealing 128% increased damage with 24% larger radius per corpse. This is awesome, just blows up the entire screen, and you really nice putting up some big damage numbers. Our focus now, we're using the imprint, gains 16% increased critical chance for 6 seconds when casting Corpse Tendrils. You deal 48% increased critical strike damage bonus to enemies. So with this, we're always just spamming Corpse Tendrils to always have this proc. Corpse Tendrils making enemies vulnerable, plus bonus giving you this bonus. Really good for our build. Helps with the big damage numbers. Our rings now, we have your skeletons gain increased damage while alive up to 30%. This is really nice for our summons. Just the longer they're alive, the more damage they do. And I prioritize crit chance and crit damage in the rolls on our ring. The fortification generation is really good for our build as well. Ring of Mendelin, this is really good for our summons. You got max minion life, max minion attack speed, and as well as while you have 7 or more minions, a lucky hit up to 10% chance to empower all of your minions, causing the next attack from each to explode for 14,905 damage is physical. So when you're watching the video, you'll see little explosions around our minions. That's what's going on. And this can get up to, with our skeletal mages, we can get up to like 200, 300,000 crit damage when this is proc. So it's really, really nice damage increase. And you can really tell when it procs versus bosses, because their health just disappears. Our amulet now, I'm using your max skeletal mages is increased by 3 because our skeletal mages is so crucial to our build. Having the 1 extra mage is really important. We're using a lot of cold damage, and a lot of the effects are coming from our mages, so I thought this was the most important. Really good roll. This is where we get the 3 ranks of amplification damage passive. We get 13 flat damage, 14% minion attack speed, and the damage reduction while fortified. This is a really, really good amulet for this build. Really, really huge. When everything is procced, as you can see, I get up to right around 11,000 attack power. So big damage numbers, and it handles level 100 monsters at level 83, level 84 really well. I'm doing level 100 monster dungeons in 10 minutes, so that's pretty efficient if you ask me, for being 20 levels down. Coming now to our Paragon board, we'll start in the beginning. I come up the right side. This is early on. I haven't changed the Paragon board since hitting above level 50, so this has been since the beginning. I've been running these Paragons. So I came up the right side, got the 20% damage node. In the middle here, I have the mage glyph. I get 140% extra damage to our mages, plus the damage reduction for them. Really nice. I went up the left side, it got 20% damage increase. Once I started filling out this glyph here, that's when I came back and got the preservation glyph there. Coming up, noticed the summons were dying, so I came over to the left here and got armor clad first. As I get in the higher ranks, I'm probably going to fill out the magic nodes around them to give them more survivability as well. And then I got Cult Leader. Because we're using all of our minions, we get, you know, the 45% damage increase. Really good. Coming over to the right now, we get the Skeletal Warrior's damage increase, the Infused Warrior node. Not much of our damage is coming from our Skeletal Warriors. More of their damage is coming from when the Mandolin procs. They do decent damage, but not as much as our mages. Coming up, we get the Puppeteer node. This gives all of our mages, all of our summons, just flat damage and attack speed. Really good there. I came over here before going to the next glyph because of our mages. I wanted to fill this out and get as much mage power as I can. Then I got the other glyph socket. I'm using control because, as you can see, I have stunned, slow, chill, and frozen all in this build. So no matter what, I'm constantly getting the 90% damage increase. Plus, I'm getting the 10% at a minimum increase as well with this node. Coming over here, I got the Custody for the damage reduction. Another node that I will be filling out the rare nodes to get the more damage reduction for the minions as we get into the higher tier nightmare dungeons. Overlord, really good passes. I filled these out for the more damage. You get flat damage and damage to crowd control. It helps our glyph as well. Then I came over here and got the legendary, the Flesh Eater Paragon board. Because we're consuming corpses at an alarming rate, we're always proccing this. This is always proc. Very rarely it's not. I mean, it's always proc. So I got this first, and then I came around and got the targeted for the elite damage, and then got the next glyph socket. I'm using the Undaunted because we're using fortified so much in our build. We're getting damage plus damage reduction while fortified. You'll see, you know, I will die when the fortification falls off. When it's on, I can really take hits, you know, up to like 105. I could take, you know, multiple hits with fortification on. After getting that next glyph socket, I came to the right here and got Stifle. Damage to injured enemies, critical strike damage. We're doing all those things. Really nice to help our build. Then come over here to get our next board. I got the one that has Bloodbath in it. We're not using Overpower, so I won't be going for this node specifically. But what I wanted to get were the damage while fortified, the Overpower, and the healthy damage. Yeah, we're not using Overpower specifically, but we do Overpower damage occasionally. Also wanted to come and get Guard Advance with the fortification generation and the damage while fortified next. There's our Paragon board. I'm currently at level 84, and we're doing quite well. And you can see where I'm going in the next few levels here. So, and then we'll be heading on to our next board. But there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this build guide helped you. I really think this is going to be a top-notch summon necromancer build. But like I said, if this video helped you, help me by giving me a like, and think about subscribing. I post every 2 days Diablo content, and let me know what you think down in the below. I'll see you on the next video.